Hello, filmmakers. It is Kerry with Filmmaker Central, and we have a new product, the Fulham X5 wireless microphone system. But before we get into that, let's talk about wireless lavalier systems in general. I mean, they've been around for a long time. I mean, I had a Sennheiser, I don't remember the model number, I still own it. It was kind of big and bulky, but it worked great. And I mean, the thing was $800 at the time, I think. I mean, very expensive, but it worked. And then there was really no good development for a long, long time. And then a few years ago, Rode came out with the Wireless Go. That was really cool. I bought that instantly. And then the Wireless Go 2 came out. Some nice new features, recording, had some really neat features on it. And then DJI came out with the DJI mic system. This was a game changer. Smaller, lighter. The case has a battery built into it. It uses USB-C digital to go into cameras. It's actually what I'm using right now for this video. And I have used the DJI mic for many, many, many projects. All of a sudden, wireless mics came out of the woodwork from all kinds of companies, ones I've never heard of. And then there was Saramonic, there was Fulaim, there was Synco, there was a bunch of, and I've reviewed a bunch of those on this channel. And most of them have been actually pretty good. And some of them I still use to this day. When I'm in the studio, I use a different one. I use the DJI when I'm out in the field. So they are very, very handy. Well, last year, Fulham sent me the 1000CX, and big bulky box here, and the equipment in it was pretty large, kind of similar to the wireless or the Rode Wireless Go, almost the same size. The receiver, big, bulky unit, but this thing works really, really well, and it does USB-C digital, has basically all the features that I would want, except it didn't do recording. And so I'm like, but that's okay. For those times when I don't need that, it's perfect. Well, now we have the Fulham X5, and that's in this package. Now, if we compare it size-wise to the DJI mic, I mean, that case is damn near identical. I mean, it looks so similar to the DJI case, other than this bright yellow, which is nice because it makes it easy to find, and it tells you, just by glancing at it, which side it opens on. Has the USB-C port in the back. It's got a built-in battery for recharging the equipment. You open it up, it's nice and bright. It's easy to see everything. The transmitters are almost the same size as the DJI mic. The receiver is smaller than the DJI mic. It features recording, stereo, mono, and safety track. All the things basically that the DJI mic has, with a few exceptions. I mean, while the screen on here works and is quite functional, it's kind of hard to see even right now, and I'm in the shade, so it's a little hard to see the screen. But normally once you have something like this set up, there's really not much to it. Now, one thing that's kind of cool is these sit in here with a magnet. And you have to actually tug on them a little bit to get them out. And then if you see in the top, it looks like there's LEDs in there. Well, there is. And when you close the lid, those are ultraviolet LEDs. So they sanitize the microphones. So if you're moving microphones from one person to another, well, they get sanitized between use. Pretty interesting. Now, in the package, we also get 2 wind muffs, and exactly like the DJI mic or the Rode Wireless Go 2, they feature a bayonet mount. So they go on, you twist, they lock into place. They're not going to come out. Very cool. You get a 3.5 millimeter TRS cable, and then you get these 2 adapters. One is USB-C to Lightning, and one is USB-C to USB-C. And these go into the receiver So you can plug it directly into other devices. You can plug it directly into an iPhone. You can plug it into DJI Action 3. That's what I'm using right now since I'm just out at the park. You know, a lot of different things can use the USB-C. Or you can do the 3.5 and go into a camera like the Sony ZV-1. So a lot of functionality in here, and definitely a lot of clues taken from the DJI mic. One thing that is very, very different about the X5 from the DJI mic is it has noise cancellation built in. Now, you turn it on to activate it, so sometimes you don't need it, sometimes you do, so you can toggle it by default when you open everything up. It's not on, you push the button on the side, and it turns it on. If you hold it down, that's the yellow button here, if you hold it down, it starts recording. So, kind of neat features there. I haven't seen any way to set it to auto record. Not a big deal. I don't use the record option that much. So I think next step is going to be to set this up, replace the DJI mic on here, and let's see how it sounds. All right, we have the Fulham. Now I got that pronunciation from another video I watched where someone said, no, that is the way you pronounce it, Fulham. I always said Fulaim, but Fulham, whichever you prefer, I guess, the Fulham X5. Now, I've tested it a little bit. I found it worked extremely well, and I think I'm gonna go for a walk. Now, I've got it right here. So my guess is at some point, if I turn around, I'm probably gonna lose audio. So probably about 40, 50 feet away, I'll turn around, I'll walk a little bit, I'll turn back, we'll see how that sounds. But how often do I really need to be this far away? And the answer is never. I have never needed to record audio from 50, 100 feet away. It just never, ever happens. Sure, there's use cases where that could come in handy, but for me, I just don't need it. So 20, 30, 40, 50 feet, great. That's all I really need. If it can do more, awesome. But for most applications, it's going to be just fine. Now, that being said, I'm in a park. There's really nobody here today, but I'm pretty close to a street. I got airplanes going overhead. I'm going to turn on the noise cancellation, and let's hear what that sounds like. All right, we've got the noise cancellation turned on. Like I said, I got airplanes up above, I got some birds. I'm, I don't know, a couple hundred feet away from a major street. We'll see how that sounds. Now, definitely, there's going to be a drop in volume when recording when you turn the noise cancellation on. I mean, that's just kind of be expected. It happens. And the gain that you can pump up in the settings just doesn't go very high. In fact, I usually have to bump up the gain in post, even without the noise cancellation on. I'm getting about -8 dB, where I'd really like that to be -10 to -12 dB. So I wish there was a higher gain option that I could use. There's also no transmitter gain or receiver gain. There's a transmitter gain, there's no receiver gain. So if I need to bump it up before going into a camera, I can't do that. But that being said, it's not that big of a deal. With the Sony ZV-1, I found excellent results having the X5 pretty much on its highest setting and setting the audio record on the Sony to about 4 or 5. Really low, and I got excellent results. So this is the Fulham X5 wireless mic system. You tell me, what do you think? Is it worth the price? It is cheaper than the DJI mic. I'll put the price comparisons here down below so you can see the two price differences there. For me, I think it's a good deal. I think it works well. I think the noise cancellation is really good. I think the feature set is really good for someone who wants to get into a wireless microphone system that is going to be good enough and better than good enough. I mean, there's good enough ones out there, but one that can really hold its own weight. Now, is it a DJI killer? I'm going to go with no. The DJI has some advantages. The color touch screen is much easier to see outdoors. The range is better on here. The battery life is very good. I just really don't have any problems, but does it justify the extra price? And that's something you have to decide for yourself. You know, do you need those few extra features that make the DJI worth more? Or can you live with something that's going to get the job done the vast majority of the time? The fact that it has record, the fact that it has a backup track or a safety track, the fact that it does all those things, plus has noise cancellation, seems like a pretty good deal. If the DJI mic had noise cancellation in it, that would be a winner. If it had, you know, dynamic gain, where as I moved away, it could adjust the gain automatically, that would be a surefire win for the DJI. But for the price, and I think for a lot of creators out there, the Fulham X5 is really going to do the job. Now that you've had a chance to listen, hear the quality, hear the standard audio, and you heard it with the noise cancellation turned on, what do you think? For $149, it's pretty good value compared to, you know, $349 for the DJI. It's a $200 difference. Is there a $200 difference between the two in terms of quality and features? No, absolutely not. You know, if it was a $50 difference or a $75 difference, you'd be like, okay, yeah, that's pretty reasonable. But for this to be a $200 difference makes this an exceptional value. Now, again, who is this for? Well, just about anybody who's recording audio, whether it be for a wedding, for vlogging, for interviews, all kinds of situations where you want one or two lavalier mics. The fact that it comes with, you know, a nice set of features. I don't know if anyone cares about the UV LEDs, but you can plug in a lavalier mic. Doesn't come with one, same as the DJI, that's fine. It does have a little magnet that comes with it, so you can easily clip it on somewhere. I'd like this to be bigger. This is a pretty small magnet. The ones on the DJI, same as the Rode, what do they call that? The Magnet Pro or something? Significantly bigger. And so bigger means stronger. But it holds on. So I'm not really going to complain about that. It works. The nice tiny size of the receiver, I think, is great. What could be improved here? The screen. It could be easier to see in daylight. But again, this is one of those things that you're rarely playing with. You're just not often having to adjust the gain. And that's really only one thing on here, and it's just one button. Just push it and check your readings. It has a headphone jack on it, so you can monitor it, hear what things are sounding like. And then it's got the camera output and the USB output. The fact that it just works with my other stuff is fantastic. Now, it has stereo mode, so each transmitter is going to be on a separate channel. One will be on left, one will be on right. If you hold down the set for a few seconds, it switches to, should switch to mono, right? Yep, switches to mono, or mono safety track. Hold it again, switches to mono, and hold it again, and we're back to stereo. So standard 3 modes that you're going to see on just about everything. Stereo, left and right. Mono, they're going to be mixed into one. Safety track, everything's mixed into one, and there's a safety channel that's recorded at a lower volume in case the volume peaks. So there you have it. The Fulham X5. I think they did a great job on this. This is a huge improvement over the 1000, the CX1000 that I've actually used many, many times. It's actually my backup to my DJI mic. And now in a smaller package, smaller footprint, smaller form factor, you know, with all pretty much the same features, this will be my backup system all the time. I will always have this with me just in case, you know, because I have limited battery on the DJI, or sometimes things happen. Sometimes they don't charge. Sometimes I forgot to charge it. I always have a backup system. And if I need more than those 2 channels, well, I have a whole second system. These are also independent recorders. So I could put these on, you know, between the DJI mic and this, I could mic up 4 people and get all 4 channels and mix those all individually. So it gives me a ton of flexibility, whether I want to use it by itself or use it as a backup or whatever. This is a quality product from Fulham for only $149. Is it a DJI killer? You know, no, because there's things about the DJI that are a step up, but you're going to pay for those premium features. And do you need those premium features? Maybe sometimes. The fact that you can adjust the gain going into the camera instead of just the gain of the transmitter, that's a plus over this. The magnets are better on the DJI. The interface is better. The touch screen is better. So there's those things that do force it into a higher price point. But for pretty much the same functionality, you can save 200 bucks with the Fulham. There you go. That's my review of the Fulham X5. Highly recommend it. Great product. The previous model, like I said, I've used many, many times. This one is going to get a ton of use. So I'm going to highly recommend this for anybody who's looking for a budget wireless lavalier system. Links in the description below. Thanks for watching. This has been Kerry with Filmmaker Central, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.